What if some records are not just milestones but monuments? What if certain achievements rise so high that they stop being numbers and start becoming legends whispered across industries? When it comes to Jungkook, the golden Maknae of BTS, the conversation is no longer about whether he is successful. The real question echoing through global music circles is this: have we already witnessed records so extraordinary that they may never be broken? From the very first moment Jungkook stepped into the global solo spotlight, the world felt a shift. Not a subtle ripple but a tidal wave. Streaming platforms trembled under the weight of his numbers. Charts recalculated history. Social media timelines exploded in synchronized disbelief. And industry analysts, those who usually speak in careful, calculated language, began using words like unprecedented, historic, untouchable. The term impossible records is not thrown around lightly in the music business. Every generation believes its icons are unbeatable, only to be proven wrong by the next wave of talent. But Jungkook's trajectory feels different. It is not just about scale, it is about speed, consistency, and global reach happening all at once. That rare convergence is what transforms impressive milestones into seemingly unbreakable records. Consider the velocity of his streaming domination. Within hours of releasing solo material, Jungkook shattered first-day streaming benchmarks across multiple platforms simultaneously. Not one region, not one chart, multiple continents moved in sync. Asia, North America, Europe, Latin America. His music did not travel gradually, it detonated worldwide at the exact same moment. That synchronized global response is something even major Western pop giants struggle to achieve. What makes this phenomenon extraordinary is not only the fanbase power, though ARMY's dedication is undeniably legendary. It is the crossover effect. Casual listeners, those outside the established fandom, streamed his tracks in astonishing volumes. Viral dance challenges ignited. Radio stations that once hesitated to embrace K-pop placed his songs in prime rotation. His voice became not just a fan anthem but a mainstream soundscape presence. Then came the chart records. Debuting at the very top of major global charts is already a rare accomplishment. But Jungkook did not simply debut high, he sustained. Week after week, his songs maintained dominant positions, defying the typical post-release drop-off that most artists experience. Longevity is often harder than impact, yet he managed both simultaneously. Billboard rankings became battlegrounds where new history was written. Achieving top positions as a Korean solo artist in predominantly Western markets was once considered nearly impossible. Jungkook didn't just break that ceiling, he dismantled it entirely. Analysts pointed out that his achievements were not isolated spikes fueled solely by fan mobilization. The data revealed consistent daily streams, strong radio play, and impressive digital sales, indicators of broad demographic appeal. Social media records followed like falling dominoes. Within minutes of new releases or even simple live appearances, his name would dominate worldwide trending topics. Engagement metrics like shares, comments, surpassed those of global superstars with decades-long careers. His posts often became the most interacted with content in music categories across platforms, signaling an influence that transcends traditional promotional strategies. One of the most astonishing aspects of Jungkook's record-breaking era is the speed at which he achieved cumulative milestones. Artists often take years to reach billions of streams on solo catalogs. Jungkook approached such figures in record time, compressing what usually spans a decade into a remarkably short period. Industry insiders quietly acknowledged that such acceleration may not be replicable under normal circumstances. Award ceremonies further solidified the narrative. International nominations in categories historically dominated by Western artists became regular occurrences. Wins in competitive global fields reinforced the idea that Jungkook's impact was not confined to fandom-driven voting. Critics and industry panels recognized the artistry, vocal control, and performance excellence that accompanied the numbers. And then there are the performance records. Stadium stages, international festivals, televised specials. Jungkook delivered live vocals that matched studio recordings with uncanny precision. Viral clips of his stability during demanding choreography circulated widely, reinforcing his reputation as not just a streaming phenomenon but a genuine performer. Many artists can dominate charts, far fewer can translate that dominance seamlessly onto the stage. Another impossible benchmark lies in brand power. Luxury fashion houses, beverage companies, tech brands. When Jungkook became associated with a product, measurable market impact followed. Items he wore sold out within minutes. Search engine trends spiked dramatically. Corporate analysts monitored what some began calling the Jungkook effect, a direct correlation between his visibility and immediate consumer behavior shifts. The Guinness World Records recognition added another layer of historical permanence. Once an achievement enters official record books, it transcends fan celebration and becomes documented global history. Jungkook accumulated such distinctions at a pace that left observers stunned. These are not subjective accolades, they are verified milestones etched into institutional archives. But perhaps the most intangible and potentially unbreakable record is cultural impact. Jungkook's journey from trainee to global solo titan embodies a narrative that resonates universally. The youngest member rising to become a global pop force carries emotional symbolism. That story fuels loyalty, admiration, and fascination in ways that pure statistics cannot fully explain. The digital era amplifies phenomena quickly, but it also burns them out just as fast. Trends rise and fall within weeks, yet Jungkook's dominance has shown remarkable durability. Each comeback reignites global frenzy without visible fatigue. That consistency suggests something deeper than temporary hype. It signals structural influence within modern pop culture. Critics sometimes argue that records are meant to be broken. History supports that notion. However, context matters. Jungkook's records exist within a hypersaturated streaming environment where competition is fiercer than ever. Breaking records today requires surpassing not only peers but also algorithmic barriers, playlist politics, and fragmented audience attention spans. Achieving dominance under these conditions arguably makes his milestones even more formidable. There is also the global synchronization factor. Rarely do artists command simultaneous chart-topping positions across so many culturally distinct markets. Language barriers, regional preferences, and promotional limitations typically create staggered success patterns. Jungkook's ability to bypass those barriers suggests a rare universality. His vocal color plays a role. Smooth yet powerful, emotive yet controlled, his tone adapts effortlessly to various genres. Whether delivering an explosive pop anthem or a vulnerable ballad, he maintains identity without sacrificing versatility. That balance broadens audience reach beyond genre-specific listeners. Another element that contributes to the unbreakable aura is timing. Jungkook's solo era emerged at a moment when K-pop had already laid global groundwork, yet no Korean soloist had fully capitalized on that infrastructure at his scale. He arrived at the intersection of preparation and opportunity, a convergence that may not repeat in the same configuration. Fan mobilization remains an undeniable force. Organized streaming projects, coordinated purchasing strategies, and global fan events amplify every release. However, sustaining such mobilization over time without decline is extraordinarily rare. Jungkook's fandom energy shows no sign of exhaustion, which strengthens the perception that his records could endure for years. Economic analysts also note the shareholder impact tied to his releases. Entertainment company valuations often experience noticeable fluctuations around major solo projects. When an individual artist influences corporate market performance, it underscores commercial gravity beyond music charts. Yet beyond numbers, perhaps the most powerful record Jungkook holds is emotional connection. Stadium crowds singing every lyric in perfect unison, millions tuning into love strums across time zones, fans sharing personal stories of comfort and inspiration drawn from his music. Emotional resonance cannot be quantified, but it sustains legacy long after chart peaks fade. Will future artists rise and surpass these achievements? History suggests that evolution never stops, but replicating the exact conditions, global digital acceleration, cross-cultural acceptance, fandom infrastructure, personal narrative, and artistic consistency, may prove extraordinarily difficult. The phrase "may never be broken" carries both awe and challenge. It invites future generations to attempt the impossible. It frames Jungkook not merely as a record holder but as a benchmark. In sports, certain records stand untouched for decades because they represent the outer edge of human performance at a given era. In music, Jungkook's milestones feel strikingly similar.